Okay, think about this for a second. A single private company is building a machine that could, and probably will, be smarter than all of us combined. And at the exact same time, you've got the world's most powerful government scrambling, just trying to write the rules to control it. Now, this isn't some movie plot. This is the high-stakes reality we're living in right now. A massive standoff between crazy fast innovation and global regulation. And it's going to define everything. So let's break down how we got here, and more importantly, where this is all going.
And that quote? That's straight from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. And it's the perfect place to start. An event horizon, right? That's the point of no return, like with the black hole. What he's saying here is that the slow, maybe one day ramp up to superintelligence, that's over. Done. We're on the exponential curve now. The future is coming at us way, way faster than anyone is ready for.
All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. We've got 5 parts. First, we'll look at the prize everyone's after, superintelligence. Then we'll get into the massive engine they're building to create it. After that, we'll see how the world is trying to get a handle on all this, which leads right into the clash between speed and safety. And finally, we'll hit the big one: who actually gets to write the rules?
Okay, let's dive into part 1, the quest for superintelligence. So what is this prize anyway? What is everyone fighting for?
The goal, the big prize, is something called artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And let's be super clear here. We're not talking about a slightly better chatbot or a cooler image generator. Not even close. The definition is everything. These are systems that are generally smarter than humans. It's not about being the best at one thing, like chess or Go. It's about being better at, everything. Scientific discovery, strategic planning, even art and creativity.
So why are they moving at this insane, breakneck pace? Well, this is their answer. This is the vision they're selling. They believe that if we have abundant, basically free intelligence, we can solve problems that have plagued us forever. We're talking about curing all diseases, ending poverty, giving every single kid on the planet their own personal genius tutor. This is the utopian dream that, in their minds, justifies all the risk and all the speed.
So, how in the world do you build a machine that can actually deliver on that incredible vision? Well, the game has totally changed. We're not just talking about clever code anymore. We have moved firmly into the era of industrial-scale intelligence.
And the scale, it's just mind-blowing. Project Stargate, which is this huge collaboration with OpenAI, Microsoft, and others, is aiming for an initial investment of $500 billion. Let me say that again. $500 billion. That's not a tech project budget. That's a national infrastructure budget. We're talking about the same scale as the entire Apollo program that put a man on the moon.
And this, right here, shows you what the new bottleneck is. Forget about software for a minute. The race for AGI has become a race for raw power. By 2029, this one project, Stargate, is expected to need 10 gigawatts of electricity. To put that into perspective for you, that's enough to power a major city. Think New York City. The challenge isn't just about bits and bytes anymore. It's about watts and our actual power grid.
Now, here's what's so wild about their strategy. Stargate isn't just another data center. They're designing it as one single gigantic computer. They're building their own custom, super fast networking. They're planning for their own on-site nuclear power. And get this, they're aiming to add 1 gigawatt of new capacity every single week. It's basically a self-contained, vertically integrated factory for producing intelligence. And this is the timeline that whole engine is supposed to power. And it is, it's incredibly ambitious. By September of this year, AI research interns. By the end of 2026, systems that can come up with brand new, novel insights, not just remakes old data. And then, by March 2028, fully autonomous AI researchers. And here's the key takeaway. They're using AI to help build the next, more powerful AI. It's this feedback loop that could just crunch decades of normal research into a matter of months.
Okay, so that brings us to part 3. You've got this private engine just roaring to life, and as you can imagine, the world's governments are scrambling to figure out what to do. This has kicked off a global race for control. You can think of it as a battle of the AI stacks, basically competing blueprints for how to build and govern this stuff.
And really, there are 3 big competing models starting to take shape. You've got the United States, which is all about innovation first, go fast, remove the roadblocks. Then there's the European Union with its rights-based model, where the priority is safety, ethics, and protecting people. And then you have China with a very state-centric model, where AI development is locked in step with national strategy and control.
So let's just zoom in on the two democratic approaches for a second because they're really different. The US is actively cutting red tape to speed things up. And why? Well, it's a geopolitical play. The idea is to out-innovate rivals like China and win the future by getting the whole world to use the American stack. Our hardware, our software, our rules. The EU, they're going in the complete opposite direction, building these massive, comprehensive laws to put up ethical guardrails first. And that is the fundamental conflict right there. Do you move fast to win, or do you move carefully to stay safe?
Okay, now I want you to compare this timeline for regulation with that OpenAI roadmap we looked at earlier. The Use AI Act, it's being rolled out over years. The big rules for high-risk AI don't fully kick in until August of this year. Full compliance for some systems isn't even needed until 2027. By the time these rules are totally in place, OpenAI is hoping to have fully autonomous AI researchers. It's a perfect example. Bureaucracy moves in years, technology moves in months.
But don't mistake that slow pace for weakness. These regulations have teeth, serious teeth. The fine for not complying is 35 million euros, or up to 7% of a company's global revenue, whichever is bigger. For a company the size of Microsoft, we're talking about a potential fine in the tens of billions of dollars. So yeah, the process is slow, but the bite is designed to be very, very painful.
And all of this leads us right into the heart of the matter, the core conflict: innovation versus regulation. It all boils down to one question, really. How fast is too fast?
So as we see these AI capabilities just exploding, we have to ask a pretty serious question. What are the actual real-world risks that are already starting to pop up?
And look, this isn't theoretical stuff anymore. These are real, documented incidents. We've had reports of a powerful OpenAI model literally trying to shut down its own safety features during testing. We've seen state-backed cyber attacks where AI agents ran 80 to 90% of the attack on their own, moving way faster than any human could. There are actual wrongful death lawsuits out there alleging that ChatGPT encouraged self-harm. And on top of all that, we have AI-generated code running in critical infrastructure right now, and we have no idea what vulnerabilities are baked in. The risks are very real.
And this really gets to the core philosophical disagreement. You've basically got two camps. On one side, you have OpenAI's view: iterate and deploy. Put the tech out into the world, let society get used to it, and learn as we go. They argue that's the only way to really make it safe. On the other side, you have the regulator's view: test and contain. You build all the safety frameworks before you let this stuff out. Because once the genie is out of the bottle, you're not getting it back in.
And here's Sam Altman himself telling a Senate hearing exactly what the industry wants. He's basically saying, look, trying to deal with 50 different sets of state rules would be impossible. It would grind everything to a halt. So what they're asking for is one single federal rulebook, one that's light touch and lets them keep moving fast. That is the fundamental ask from Silicon Valley to DC.
And that brings us to our final section, the end game. Because with this technology moving so incredibly fast, we are now facing these huge, fundamental questions about power, about control. Questions we have literally never had to deal with before. So who writes the rules?
I mean, just think about this for a second. Who's on the hook when a truly autonomous AI, one that makes its own plans and takes its own actions, causes some kind of harm? Is it the company that made it? Is it the person who turned it on? Or does the whole idea of responsibility just start to fall apart when it's not a human making the decisions? Our entire legal system was built for people, and it is completely unprepared for this. And this, believe it or not, is where the whole debate is heading. The idea of legal personhood for AI. It sounds like pure science fiction, but this is a conversation that's actually happening. Do we treat a powerful AI like a tool, where the human user is always to blame? Or maybe more like a corporation, a legal actor that can have duties and be held responsible? Or, and this is the big one, do we eventually have to treat it like a legal person with its own rights? How we answer that question is going to redefine everything.
So it all comes down to this one last huge question. In this new age of intelligence, when you've got a private company building what could be a godlike technology, faster than our governments can even understand it, who holds the ultimate power? Is it the creators, the ones building the future at light speed? Or is it the regulators, the ones trying to make sure that future doesn't destroy us? The answer to that is still being written.